Have you ever wondered how South Africa, once the beacon of African economy, found itself in an economic downturn? Let's delve into this intriguing question. South Africa was once thriving under the Afrikaner government. Robust institutions were in place, infrastructure was sound, and a promising 15-year plan was set in motion to guide the nation's future. This was an era of prosperity, with the country's economic machinery functioning at its peak. The Afrikaner government had effectively set the stage for a flourishing economy. They had laid down the tracks, and all that was needed was for the train to keep moving forward. The infrastructure was not only strong but also diverse, encompassing everything from roads and bridges to schools and hospitals. And the institutions? They were stable, well-structured, and capable of steering the nation towards a brighter economic future. The strong economic foundation was there, so what went wrong? Enter the ANC government, a period synonymous with tender fraud, corruption, and a love for personal interests. This era was a time when the South African economy, once flourishing and robust, began to crumble under the weight of greed and mismanagement. Corruption and incompetency became the order of the day. The seeds of these vices were sown deep into the system, and their poisonous fruits were seen in every aspect of the nation's economy. Government buildings, once symbols of national pride, began to fall. The walls crumbled, the roofs leaked, and the foundations shook, a physical manifestation of the rot that was eating away at the economy from within. Parastatal companies, which were once the driving force behind the nation's economy, began to fail. These government-owned entities, responsible for key sectors like energy, transport, and telecommunications, started to buckle under the strain of mismanagement and corruption. As these companies crumbled, the effects rippled through the economy, leading to an overall decline in the quality of life for the average South African. The ANC government's actions didn't just affect the physical infrastructure and parastatals. They also impacted the very fabric of society. This once flourishing economy was now seen as a banana state, a term used to describe an economically unstable country with an unsteady political landscape. The living conditions worsened, and the people's trust in the government dwindled. The legacy of the ANC era was a South Africa grappling with economic instability, political uncertainty, and social unrest. But was this decline unique to South Africa? Or was it a reflection of a broader trend seen across the African continent? Were there lessons to be learned from other nations that could have been applied to prevent this economic downfall? These are questions that beg to be asked and answers that need to be sought. The ANC era marked a dark period for the South African economy, but was this a unique occurrence? It's a question that leads us to delve deeper into the economic history of Africa, seeking answers and lessons for the future. South Africa wasn't the first African country to experience economic decline. So, did the country not learn from its predecessors? A valid question indeed. You see, the African continent has seen its fair share of economic downfalls. For instance, Zimbabwe once boasted a robust economy, but due to corruption and mismanagement, it spiraled into a state of hyperinflation and distress. Nigeria, rich in oil reserves, also grappled with corruption, leading to economic instability. So the pattern is clear, isn't it? Unfortunately, South Africa, despite its promising start, didn't heed these cautionary tales. The same elements of corruption, mismanagement, and personal interests over national welfare, slowly but surely, turned the tide against the once flourishing economy. The question then arises, was this downfall inevitable? Well, given the evidence, it certainly wasn't. South Africa's economic downfall wasn't inevitable, yet here we are. So what's the solution? Is a change in government the cure-all solution for South Africa's economic woes? The answer to this question isn't as straightforward as one might think. Yes, a fresh set of eyes and ideas from a new government could potentially rectify the economic crises. However, a change in administration alone cannot guarantee prosperity. It's the policies, the execution, the transparency, and the commitment to the public interest that truly make the difference. South Africa needs to embrace economic reforms that promote growth and stability. This could mean rooting out corruption, investing in infrastructure, and prioritizing energy production. It may also involve learning from other African nations who've successfully navigated similar challenges. Remember, change is a process, not an event. It requires time, patience, and most importantly, the collective effort of all South Africans. The future of South Africa's economy hangs in the balance, but with the right decisions, a revival is possible.